just talking to Matthias and Evan about the pairing. Even as good as they've been, there's still room for improvements and such. What do you kind of see from that duo and their push to get better, and maybe where they can take things this year?
They've been a very solid pair for us, and getting in on the offense, playing against other teams' top lines, we've really relied on quite a bit. And going forward, I think Bush will take on a little more responsibility on the penalty kill. But we've got 6 or 7 guys that we feel comfortable doing the penalty kill, so we can't really. Not sure how that's going to work out, just because we don't want Evan's ice time to be outstanding. We don't want to be pushing him so much that it takes away from the rest of his game when we do have other guys that are comfortable doing it. But we feel that's something that he's good at and can. But as for those two, just executing plays a little bit more regularly, and as good as they are, I guess everyone can be a little bit better. So,
how would you view Evan's personality, in terms of some of the challenges this year? So he's, eye on the Olympics potentially. Obviously, lots of pressure here locally. He's got a new contract. It sometimes can come with pressure. How do you think his wiring helps him?
I don't think things bother him too much. I think there's been a lot of noise, a lot of unnecessary noise about him not playing well and making mistakes and costing the team, and I don't see him getting rattled. I think he's pretty comfortable in his own skin. He's comfortable with who he is, and he doesn't listen to the outside noise. So there's a lot of things about a new contract, 4 Nations, the Olympics coming up. I think last year, there was still that pressure. He still wanted to make 4 Nations, didn't make it. I think there was a lot of uncertainty about how good he was. Obviously, they saw him in playoffs in 2024, and was outstanding. And he was able to follow that up with another solid playoff round. So, I feel it'd be very difficult to keep him off. I see him every night. I'm obviously biased. I think there's a lot of things going on. But I don't think Kevin gets too high, too low, how things are going. Whether he's playing really well, not playing well, I don't think he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders.
You talk about what he's been able to do in the last couple of playoffs. Is that maybe finally going to be enough to maybe silence some of that noise that you talked about in the market?
Well, you want your players to be at their best when it matters the most. And you look at our players, and especially our best players, McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, and how well they played when it matters the most. And that's what you want. So Evans, I think, silenced a lot of critics, and he's played tremendous throughout the playoffs, and he's played pretty darn good throughout the regular season too. And yes, there's mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but Evans showed that he's one of the elite defensemen around the NHL.
Kris, with cutdowns looming, are you going to have some difficult decisions to make here, or did you basically come in with a pretty good idea of what your lines are going to look like, who is going to stay?
No, there's going to be difficult decisions to make. A lot of guys playing really well, and you've got roles and responsibilities to think about. One player might be a little bit better 5-on-5, but if the other player serves more of a purpose on whether it's face-offs, penalty kill, physicality, speed, whatever we need a little more of, then maybe you kind of go with that. But I think we've got a lot of difficult decisions coming up, and we're early on the preseason schedule right now, and it usually plays out and you get a better feel because usually one guy or somebody that you're not expecting very much out of has a really good strong game, but you want to see that over several games rather than just making that rash decision, because things are going to get a little more difficult. Things are getting a little more faster, and then we'll see if they're ready for the regular season.
Kris, just to go back to Evan, what makes you want to try him more at the penalty kill? I know he's got experience of that before. He says he wants to do it. Do you think he can? But why? Why is that under more consideration this year?
Well, one, he's a very smart player. He's got a good stick. I think he reads the play well. Instincts are a very important part of being on the penalty kill. But also another thing I don't think gets enough attention is being able to make clears. You have an opportunity to get the puck down the ice, and most power plays have success when there's a failed clear. It's a second opportunity. Penalty killer's a little bit tired. They're out of position a little bit, and then that's where a good power play takes advantage of. So it's important that those you have the opportunity to get the puck down the ice and you get to change fresh bodies. Well, to do that, you need skill, whether it's with the puck or communication with the players or just knowing what to do next play. Evan's good at that.
Also, a more well-rounded defenseman has to be able to kill penalties too if he's a star. He just can't be on the power play at 5-on-5. He has to also be able to kill. The guys who win Norris trophies and stuff, they also usually kill penalties.
Yeah, usually, but I don't think it's a necessity. I think we're at a necessity in the playoffs this year where we had some guys banged up and we used Evan on the penalty kill, and he showed that he could handle it really well. And this year, I know he can handle it, but we also have other guys that need responsibilities and a job to do. Just like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl the last 2 years haven't killed very much. Not because they can't kill, but because we can only have them on the ice for so much time. And there's other guys who can do it also. So it's you got to be just cognizant of how much responsibilities you're giving guys.
So, Kris, I was just going to ask that. When we saw those two guys penalty kill today, was that just a practice thing, or did you think you might want to try those two guys?
Right now, on our list of forwards, I think we've got probably, 9 to 11 that we feel that are candidates to penalty kill. And definitely those are two. But we also are cognizant about how much responsibilities that we're giving them. Obviously, power play, first line, playing a lot of minutes, and now adding penalty kill. But throughout the season, I would like them killing more than they did last year during the regular season, but not being the first ones over the boards and being our go-to penalty kill guys. I would like that to be somebody else's responsibility, but them helping
It's
kill.
interesting. Leon talks about a Selke. I mean, Selke winner's penalty kill. That generally is, when you have a player that's that good, that's sort of saying like, I think I can do that, I'd like to do that, it's got to be pretty tempting to want to put him in that position as well.
It is, and we know that he'd handle it, especially with the penalty kill that we're doing now. A little more on instincts and less on, routines, patterns, our forwards running. And and then also something else that we've kind of struggled with in penalty kill is face-offs. Leon's one of the best face-off guys in the league. Now, we've also power plays typically start on our forwards, who's a left shot on his forehand side, his weak side, which makes it a little more difficult. But we know that Leon would be a great candidate, and he'll be doing it. We'll just have to decide how much he's doing
The
it.
shot blocking element of penalty killing those guys.
Well, you got to be careful how much shot blocking you do want them doing, because I certainly want them being available for every game. But it is important that you are in the lanes and not giving up that shot, because good penalty kills make it difficult for the other team to get the puck to the net.
Traditionally, whether it's been you or previous coaches, they've kind of taken the ends of penalty kills. Is that maybe what you're talking about, like the last 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever? Or do you think you might be able to integrate them a little bit earlier?
More at the end, because depending on, maybe a little bit earlier, depending on the freshness of your top 4 penalty killers, and maybe we decide we're unhappy with the other guys and they're so much better at the penalty kill of the other guys that they are maybe our top 4. We got games to decide that.
You mentioned 9 to 11 penalty killers. One of those is Janmark. Does he have to do more 5-on-5 apart from killing penalties? 2 goals in the regular season.
Yeah, no, 2 goals
obviously
last
steps
year.
up in the playoffs.
He steps up in the playoffs. I think in the regular season, I think he did everything for us except for scoring goals. And I think he was very unfortunate to only get 2 goals last year. But yes, we would like a little more contribution there offensively. But you got to be careful. Maybe you get a guy in the lineup that scores 10, but he's also giving up 10 more goals than another player. So, I think it's very important that we've got players that have a role, are useful, and is best for the team. And that's whether a guy fits in a role on a power play, the penalty kill, or a physicality. So, we'd like to see more contributions offensively than he had in the regular season. But I think he would.
Clearly, when you're protecting a lead in the third period, too, you often put him with both top 6 players on the wing. So obviously, you trust his defensive.
Yeah, no, I think he's one of the best penalty killers in the leagues. I think he's very smart. He's fast, selfless, will block a lot of shots. And when we do have a lead late in the game, I do have a lot of trust with him on the ice.